Emily and Ryan had what everyone called a dream marriage. They met in college, fell deeply in love, and built a life filled with laughter and plans. When Emily became pregnant, Ryan held her hand and promised, "I'll protect you both, no matter what." Their small house echoed with hope, baby clothes on the bed, ultrasound pictures on the fridge, and soft music playing in the evenings. But slowly something changed. Ryan became distant, his smile faded, and his late-night business calls became frequent. Emily brushed it off, believing he was stressed about work. She cooked his favorite meals, sent him loving messages, and waited for him to come home early. Yet every night he stayed out longer. Deep inside, Emily felt something breaking, an invisible wall forming between them. She didn't know another woman had entered his life. The man who once kissed her forehead every morning now avoided her eyes. The love she believed eternal was slipping away silently, like sand through her fingers. What she didn't know, her world was about to collapse in ways she could never imagine. Clara entered Ryan's world like a spark in dry wood. Bold, confident, and dangerously beautiful, she knew exactly how to manipulate a man's weaknesses. Ryan met her at a corporate event, where her laughter and flirtatious glances instantly drew him in. Clara made him feel admired, desired, and powerful, feelings he thought marriage had buried. Soon lunches turned into dinners, and dinners into secret nights. Ryan told himself he deserved a little freedom. Unaware that he was digging his own grave, Clara's sweet words fed his ego, and her lies poisoned his thoughts about Emily. "Your wife doesn't understand you," she whispered. "I need someone exciting." Each word pushed him further from his pregnant wife waiting at home, holding her belly with hope. Emily sensed something wrong but blamed herself, thinking maybe she wasn't beautiful enough anymore. Ryan's heart darkened under Clara's control. The same man who once dreamed of a family now dreamed of forbidden love. Clara didn't love him. She wanted to own him, and slowly she was winning. The distance between Ryan and Emily became a canyon of silence. He came home smelling of expensive perfume, his shirt carrying lipstick stains that weren't hers. Emily asked softly, "Ryan, what's going on?" But he snapped, "Stop overthinking. You're making me crazy." She cried quietly that night, clutching her stomach as her unborn child kicked, a reminder of the love she was losing. Ryan continued lying, saying he had late meetings, while secretly meeting Clara in hotels. Emily tried to believe him, but her heart screamed the truth. Her friends noticed her pale face, the emptiness in her smile. One day she found Clara's message flashing on his phone. "Can't wait to see you tonight." Her world froze. The man she trusted with her life was betraying her while she carried his child. That evening she waited for him to return, tears soaking her pillow. When he came home, she looked into his eyes and whispered, "You've changed." Ryan turned away, guilt briefly flashing, but pride kept him silent. That silence was the first crack in their marriage, and soon the whole structure would fall apart. The storm outside echoed the storm inside Ryan's mind. He had fought with Clara earlier, jealousy, lies, accusations, and came home seething with anger. Emily, worried for him, asked gently, "What's wrong?" He exploded, "You're what's wrong. You and this miserable life." His words cut deep, but his next act destroyed everything. In a blind rage, he struck her. She stumbled, clutching her face, crying out in horror. The blow was harder than he intended, fueled by months of frustration and guilt. Emily screamed as blood blurred her vision. When she collapsed, he froze, realizing what he'd done. "Emily?" he whispered, trembling. But fear overtook remorse, and then he ran. He left her bleeding, half-conscious and terrified. Hours later, neighbors found her and rushed her to the hospital. When she awoke, doctors told her she'd lost sight in one eye. Her baby survived, but her heart was shattered. The man who once vowed to protect her had become her greatest danger. The white walls of the hospital felt colder than ice. Emily lay motionless, one eye covered in bandages, her hand resting on her stomach. Her baby still lived, a miracle she clung to. Days passed, but Ryan never came. Not a single visit, not even a message. Instead, she saw pictures online. Ryan smiling beside Clara, enjoying vacations and parties. Her world shattered again. Friends pitied her in whispers, but no one understood her pain. Late at night, she stared out the window, tears falling from her good eye. "Why, Ryan?" she whispered into the silence. Her doctor advised rest, but rest was impossible. Emily decided that night she would never go back. She would raise her child alone, without the man who destroyed her life. She signed herself out of the hospital weeks later, her body weak but her soul awakening. Her pain had become her reason to live, not for love, but for revenge through survival. Emily gave birth to a healthy baby boy, her light in the darkest tunnel. Holding him, she felt purpose again. Weeks later, she signed the divorce papers with trembling fingers, but an unshakable will. "I'm done," she said to herself. When Ryan received the documents, he smirked, believing she wouldn't dare leave him. But when he saw her signature, cold fear hit him. For the first time, he realized she was truly gone. Clara mocked him, saying, "She's nothing without you." But deep down, he felt something breaking. The guilt of his actions began to consume him, especially when he saw her name on the papers, Emily Carter, no longer his wife. He had taken her sight, her peace, her trust. And now she had taken the only thing he never thought he'd lose, her love. Emily didn't cry when the divorce finalized. She held her son close and whispered, "We're free now." It was not the end of love. It was the beginning of her rebirth. Emily moved to a small town where no one knew her past. She rented a modest apartment and started teaching at a local school. Every morning she woke up to her son's laughter, her reason to keep moving. She covered her scar with makeup, but she never hid her strength. People admired her kindness and resilience. Slowly, she began to heal. Pain turned into wisdom, and tears turned into quiet smiles. Nights were still hard. Memories haunted her, but she no longer broke down. She stood taller each day, reminding herself she survived what should have destroyed her. One afternoon, while walking home, she caught her reflection in a shop window and realized she was no longer the same woman. She was stronger, wiser, unshakable. The woman who once cried for love now smiled at her freedom. She whispered to herself, "He took my eye, but he'll never take my vision again." Ryan's life fell apart piece by piece. Clara, tired of him, left for a wealthier man. His business began to crumble due to scandal and neglect. Friends distanced themselves, and his family stopped answering his calls. His nights became endless nightmares, Emily's face haunting him in every dream. He tried to drink his guilt away, but no amount of alcohol erased her scream from that night. Every sound reminded him of her pain. He began seeing her image everywhere, at home, in mirrors, in the dark corners of his room. The empire he once built turned to dust, and the woman he destroyed became the ghost that ruled his existence. Ryan finally understood what it meant to lose everything. But it was too late. Emily had moved on, and he was left to rot in the ruins of his own cruelty. Years later, Ryan saw her again. She was walking through a park, her son holding her hand, her smile soft and confident. She looked radiant, peaceful, untouched by his absence. Ryan froze, unable to move. He wanted to call her name, but shame sealed his lips. When their eyes met, time stopped. Emily looked at him with calm indifference, no anger, no love, and just distance. He whispered, "Emily, I'm sorry." She looked straight at him and said quietly, "You took my eye." "Ryan, but you'll never see peace again." Her words pierced his soul. She turned and walked away, her son laughing beside her. Ryan fell to his knees, tears streaming down, realizing that forgiveness was something he would never earn. He had lost the only person who truly loved him, forever. Ryan now lives alone in a small, dark apartment. The walls echo with memories he can't escape. Every night he writes letters to Emily and his son, but he never sends them. His health declines, his mind tormented by guilt. Sometimes he dreams of the life he destroyed, the laughter, the baby clothes, the love that once filled his home. But when he wakes, all that remains is silence. Meanwhile, Emily stands at her window, watching her son play in the sunlight. She smiles not because life is perfect, but because she reclaimed it. Her scar is no longer a symbol of pain, it's proof of survival. Ryan's cruelty broke her once, but her strength broke him forever. In the end, she sees clearly, even with one eye, while he, with both lives blind to peace.